What's up, everyone? It's Flex. Just a super quick video tonight to remind you all that mainstream media is the enemy. I have made this a theme of several of my videos now, and I'm actually planning on doing a more in-depth video coming up soon, maybe as soon as this weekend, um, talking about this subject. And I've been thinking about it for a while. But the events that unfolded yesterday have just, they've just put a finer point on everything evil that the media is and the way that they've been handling the whole situation and how they're coming out with hit pieces today, basically hit pieces, especially CBC on Charlie Kirk, painting him as, some kind of far right radical when really that's not the case. And, they actually put out a piece today entitled, some of Charlie Kirk's more radical ideas or more controversial ideas or something like this. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? I mean, it hasn't even been 24 hours, and it's like they're trying to smear the guy, and the whole thing was horrific. It was absolutely horrific, and the world is stunned, and for CBC to do this, and David Cochrane, that little freaking weasel, all the crap that he did during the election, and half the time with a little smirk on his face because he knew everything that he was saying was absolute bullshit. And I'm just going to back up a little bit on what I'm about to say about David Cochrane, because the girl that does the TikTok videos from her apartment and calls herself a journalist, I think we all know who that person is. I'm not even going to say her name, but she came out with a real shit take, and she was called out on it, and she had to lock down her X profile because she got so much flack, and rightly so, because she turned the whole thing around and tried to say that she was terrified of what the right was going to do. And David Cock, we expect that from somebody who makes TikTok videos in their apartment. We do, but I wouldn't even expect that from the little weasel David Cochrane. But he basically came out and said the same thing. Oh wow, we better watch out. All these right wingers are going to get triggered. They're going to use it as a triggering moment and blah blah blah, yada yada. So they've already decided what the issue was. They've already decided why the incident happened. They've already decided who the perpetrator was, at least from an ideological standpoint. And then they're trying to get out in front of it. And the fact of the matter is that people on the right, we uphold law and order. We're not violent people. We're not. And I think that if you look around, the violence and the calls for violence, they're coming from the left. I mean, if you go over on Blue Sky, which I haven't, but I've seen screenshots, and they're basically asking for more of what happened yesterday, and that's abhorrent. It's absolutely abhorrent. They're cheering it on, and they're basically giving a wish list of next victims and naming them. And that, to me, that's just a whole new level of evil. And for mainstream media to completely ignore all of that and then conjure up this boogeyman on the right side saying, oh well, we better watch out, this might be a triggering moment for people on the right, it's just insane. And it just goes to show you how far entrenched in leftist ideology all mainstream media is in Canada, and how far they will go to gaslight people. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that watch CBC and CTV that aren't on social media, and they don't realize the lies that they're being told. And I think we saw that in the results of the general election. I mean, people were gaslit completely about Mark Carney, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but the entire election was orchestrated by the mainstream media. It really was. And now we've got a heinous act, and the mainstream media is they're painting it in such a way that they're making it 10 times worse, in my opinion. And it's just evil. So anyways, that's it. I'm out of here, and keep an eye out for my longer length video that I'm going to do, my longer form video that I'm going to do on the mainstream media. I might even make notes and do some research, which I don't usually do. So anyways, there you go. Good night. Peace.